Hey. Mentor Matters here. Um, so I've been following this guy named Tony Gaskins for like 10 or 11 years. And I'm taking a note from Tony book. Tony don't give a damn where he at or what he doing. He will do a video. Tony don't make sure nothing. You know what I'm saying? If he, whatever he doing, if he driving, if he is working out, because the message is the message, right? So normally when I get an idea, I'm like, okay, on this day, I'm going to wear this. I'm going to get in front of my backdrop. And sometimes it just doesn't happen. So I'm going to be a little bit more flexible and just put the information out there as it kind of like comes to me. So, yeah, my name is Kay Korean. My channel is called Mentoring Matters, and I want to talk about why love is not enough. Because I too grew up watching Disney movies. I too am a romantic hopeful. I am divorced, and I do hope to remarry someday. I'm not really pressed about that part. But in dating, sometimes I struggle with finding my equal. I am a level 10 nurturer, and I want to reach back and pull people up. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it can turn into something where you attract them project after project after project. A lot of times with people struggling financially. So that's a very specific type of project. When you're dealing with a man who you are out earning and you don't make a lot of money. I'm a teacher, so I'm not a doctor. So it doesn't take a lot to make a lot more money than me. But I just, by product of my personality and being a mom, I am responsible. So I don't make a lot of money, but I own my home. I don't make a lot of money, but I have good credit. I don't make a lot of money, but I have savings, so I'm not talking about anything crazy. I don't have a luxury car or, designer clothes. I'm not talking about that. I know a lot of times people are like, men always have to have money to get love. No, but a man does need to be responsible, a responsible adult. And I don't think that's too much to ask from anybody. I am 38. I'm oftentimes dating older. It's just, what it is. So we're talking about people in their 40s. And my biggest age gap is a 10-year gap. So that's somebody nearly 50. So if they need some type of life coaching or financial assistance from me, it's a problem. It's a problem if a man 10 years older than me needs my financial support or know-how, or just cannot come in and at least be fully stable on his own and be able to afford to date, And then in those higher levels of relationship, after 6 or 7 months, he should be able to get my hair done. Just little things. Like, I'm not talking about coming in, paying my mortgage or anything like that. Unless I'm living with somebody, then of course, somewhere between a 50-50 and a, 80-20 split, depending on finances. But we're just talking about dating, boyfriends, or non-boyfriends or whatever. We're not talking about marriage, and cohabitation right now. So I said it. I'm just giving you a little background. So the reason that love is not enough, because for me, for many years, believed that it was enough because of the value of love. Like, I'm not a person that's going to sit there and count the benefits of being with somebody. You know what I mean? Like, what can you do for me lately? What's in it for me? What are all the benefits? And then I'm checking off things on a list. Like, that feels so cold and transactional to me. And yes, I understand that relationships are partnerships, and partnerships are inherently mutually beneficial, like platonic friendships, business relationships, and all of those things. But still, there's just something about the And what's in it for me when we're talking about romantic love that has always rubbed me the wrong way? So it causes me to be at odds with myself, because on one end, I'm like, I really don't want to deal with somebody that's in this type of struggle right now, at this stage of life. But then on the other end, it's like, well, love conquers all kind of vibe, So if you're not somebody like that, you don't struggle with that, you about your business, big ups to you, sis. You don't need this video. This video is for those of us that tend to settle, that tend to turn the other cheek, that tend to ignore our own boundaries, wants, and needs, in an effort to love, but in an effort to nurture and support somebody. And it's pretty much one-sided, based on capacity or resources or whatever. And you like, dang, especially those of us that are black, like, dang, I don't want to, as a black woman, lead a black man out in the cold over finances. It seems wrong to some of us. And so we're like, but I love him. He loves me. The reason that love can never be enough is because love is created. It cannot be organic, because I never meet somebody and love them at first sight. You grow to love somebody over a period of time of creating opportunities to fall in love. I had a boyfriend from 13 to 18. That's a nice little stretch with my first love. And I told my mama, like, I just love him. And my mom said, you love him, of course, because he's the only boy you give any time to. From the first time he came over my house unannounced, under the Stalker Act back in 1999, I was with him every day. So if I'm with you every day, of course, I'm going to grow to love you. So it's the same reason that many countries and cultures do arranged marriages. They don't love each other at the altar, but if they are treating each other correctly and respectfully, and they are mutually beneficial to one another, they do love each other after a year or 2 years or so on. You're with them every day. It's the reason that old school rule, you never let a woman live in your house, not even your best friend, because her and your husband in the same house together every day, it just creates an energy you don't want there, particularly between women and men if we're talking about heterosexual relationships. So think about it this way. So I'm staying with you because I love you, but I love you because I am with you every single day. And that's my love language. You see what I'm saying? It's like the way that I feel about you, I could just as easily feel about somebody that is more my equal, that I'm evenly yoked with. This is not a once in a lifetime feeling. This is a feeling that was created and nurtured by our time investment more than anything else. It is the time investment that breeds love. And I decided to spend that time. So maybe now I struggle to remove myself emotionally. It may be hard, but the existence of that love. See, we as human beings were created for one another. We were created for love. As a woman, I was particularly created for love. So for me to love a man because I've spent a large amount of time in his presence, then you include any kind of intimacy. So if you are sleeping with somebody, they're in your bed or you're in their bed every night, every other night, you're texting on the phone, you're sharing your days, your ups, your downs, your lows, for let's say a year. But also during this time, you've been seeing it's not the right person for you. You think too differently. You want different things out of life. Your foundational belief systems are not the same. things that they think are cool, you think are crude. So we're not talking about the old opposites attract bit. You know, we're talking about incompatibility. So over the course of this year, you have learned that you guys are not compatible and do not have a future that would bring you peace, comfort, love, and joy. You have discovered this. But over the course of this year of spending all this time with this person, you now love them. You may have seen some things you didn't like early on. Maybe you thought it was growing pains. Maybe you were open to reflecting to see if it was you and not them. Maybe you were trying not to be judgmental. Maybe you were trying to give it a chance. Maybe you thought some things would work themselves out. Now you done came up on that year mark and you like, ooh, this ain't it. Because I don't know why I had this so close to my face. You like, ooh, this ain't it. But I love him. You got to remember that you love him because of the time you spent with him. And if you spent that same time with somebody better suited for you, you would love them too. So therefore, get the hell out of there.